you, beloved and holy friends. Thank you for joining me for another moment, for another opportunity for us to think about the cycles of the year. In our previous stream, we went down the rabbit holes of cycles, of course, the moon cycles that are actively happening, the year cycle that is now coming to an end for us, and also the birth cycle that each and every single one of us have in our own personal journey. And how there are these multiple lenses, multiple cycles interweaving and overflowing with one another. And that in that way, there is always something new happening, right? There's always a little baby being born somewhere, a little seed germinating, a thing happening right now, just now, something big just happened. Wow. I mean, there's like people are like, people are happy or people are sad, people are angry. And in that way, we try at least and give ourselves the freedom to not get stuck because some people can get very sad, beholden to bad internet. Huzzah! Huzzah! Yay! This is the situation we're in. Unfortunately, it hurts me a lot because I know it hurts you, friends. Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker style. Oh, the rush hour. Nice. Nice. I'm happy that I got that joke. That's a nice one, Joe. Yeah. Cycles. How about these cycles we're having? Stick at work. Stuck at work. Good morning, by the way. Good morning. It's nice having you here, Kiana, our Tokyo friend. Taking a deep breath with you. Thinking about the cycles we're a part of right now. How are you feeling? I know you're stuck at work. Maybe you're just tuning in to listen and you don't want to type as much potentially, but if you do want to type a little bit, do let me know how you feel about this cycle, this year coming to an end. Right? We didn't really talk about it much in the vertical stream, but I think maybe there's room for us to talk about it now for a little bit. And it's about like and dislike, or want and not want. Do you want this year to come to an end? Did you dislike this year? And because you dislike it, you want it to end, hoping that there will be more things to like in the new year. I feel like that is at least a pattern that I never really established in myself, where people will talk about like, oh, this year was so shit, or whatever. And I never really have those exact same emotional attachments to how good or how bad I think a year was. Good day, Kiana. Thank you, John, for sending love. Hmm. Cycles. Did I like this year? Did I like this cycle that I've been through? I think even though I wouldn't just, go right out and say that I did just like it, I am pretty sure that I liked what I learned. All right. And I did share that a little bit ago that I learned this year what I'm capable of, right? That I'm capable of more than I thought in many different vectors that I wouldn't have explored any other way if not for this year being the exact way that it was. But did I like it? I think you can't always learn the most important lessons if you only get what you like. Feeling better, Joe? Hey, Joy. Thank you for asking. I'm sure Jovan will let us know. But since I did mention Jo being in urgent care yesterday, she did get help at least. They took x-rays of her lungs, wasn't walking pneumonia at least. They did give her a little asthma pump, and it's been helping when she gets into her coughing experiences, right? Like that has been the struggle where she starts coughing and then it doesn't really want to stop properly. A discomfort, a scratchiness, or something in the lungs. And her asthma little pumpy is helping. So sending her even more feelings of betters. Thank you, Joy, for asking. Let's see what she lets us know as well. She might also be at work again. It is a Tuesday. What time is it? Yeah, could be office hours. I am thinking about the fact that my stream might not be stable. Thanks for the update. Hey, Joy. There we go. I'm figuring it out. I've got remedies, and the inhaler helps a ton. There we go. Thank you for asking. Thank you, Joe, for letting us know. Yeah, we did spend some time praying and sending love for you yesterday too. I have been activating noise cancellation on these little microphones in body. You want to hear what it sounds like? There's those bugs again that make those high pitched sounds. Let's see if you can hear it now. Not really. Stream is all good. No glitches. Great. Stream is smooth now. Okay. Fantastic. Interesting. So when it's on my body, it doesn't actually pick up that noise floor. Right. I feel like it might actually be a little bit directional. I'll switch it on anyway, just to like add some extra noise cancellation. But did you hear those bugs? I remember some of you friends saying that you appreciate it. Of course, of the hearing of the bugs. Yeah. Some of your friends have said that you like the screaming bug sound, but it just sounds kind of like tinnitus to me. Tinnitus with an extra frequency. Good morning slash evening, everyone. Good morning slash evening to you, Kiana. We've got a lot unpacked over the last week, but the room where the baby is supposed to go has turned into the room of requirement, and that's been fun to deal with. Bless. Bless you, there's Sam. I hope that you are winning slowly but surely. I heard bugs. Nice. Them bugs be high treble and no bass. Yeah, just like all here. All in the like upper mind screaming. You're not supposed to do this, apparently. I'm not doing it hard at least. But still, why are my eyes itching? I definitely have been experiencing a lot more allergies being back on the farm. That has been unequivocally true. I don't know if it's hotter. I don't think it's hotter here, relatively speaking. It might be a little bit more humid sometimes. And as a result, it feels a little bit heavier. The amount of extra animals definitely is probably making a difference to my allergies as well. Every single time I come into my computer room, if I didn't close my door, I find cat hair on my keyboard. And then I have to like blow on my keyboard and stuff until I feel satisfied with how much hair there is. Whew. Joy Vive did share this little bit of information with us in the yoga group, but let's send her some love. She says, I have tendonitis in my left knee and it's flaring up. I'm not going to be in yoga for a few days to give my knee a rest. Your left knee, maybe we can all like take a moment and put hands on our left knees. And then just envision healing energy. Maybe feel the heat of your palms placed up against you. Maybe you can do this too if you want to, Joy. Just imagining that heat slowly dissolving, melting any little pieces of discomfort. Imagining them like little shards of ice or glass or sharp pain. Seeing those sharp ends. Seeing those, I combined edge and ends onto one word. Seeing those sharp ends slowly but surely become a little bit more blunt as you keep applying heat to yourself until they eventually melt. And it's true, maybe the pain hasn't gone away just yet, but just in giving ourselves this energy and envisioning this healing occurring, I'm sure it will. Our bodies are magnificent things, very powerful. I look forward to you letting us know that you're feeling better, Joy. Sending you extra healing energy. Can we see you here in stream, Joy? Oh, I already miss you enough. That's so nice. Yeah. It is a little bit of an early wake up, is true. You know, but we do like having you here, Joy. We'll we'll take a moment to send some love. Thanks, Melt. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for giving us a moment to acknowledge you and send you some healing energy too. Yeah. The human body. The human body. It really is magnificent. And it's so easy for us to take it for granted. Not saying that you are, not saying that you are, but it is easy for me even to just forget about it. It's taking a moment to appreciate ourselves. Not for how we look, but just for simply being. Appreciating. I'm trying to think about this willingness to self appreciate in the context of the cycles of the year as well. Eva, you want to come and sit on this couch with me, Eva? And then jumps off again after I move my stuff. You okay, Melt? I'm pretty okay, generally speaking. I have been a little bit more tired. My allergies have definitely been more active, and the heat has been just relentlessly uncomfortable, right? But to that point, like I can manage discomfort pretty well, but it's now at that point where it's just this like grunting discomfort, all right? Like you're in a plank and you've already been in that plank for 2 minutes and you're just like suffering and you're like, oh, this sucks, right? That's kind of what the temperature has been like for me. And I cannot shake this feeling of this sucks, all right? It's like this sucks. And then I think, and then in that feeling of this sucks, I think about global warming and I think about the other people that are experiencing this suckage as well. I'm thinking about the people that do not have even remotely the amount of infrastructure around them to protect them from this heat. I'm thinking about the fact that I want air conditioning and how expensive it is for me to acquire. And then I think about the people that do not even remotely have access to the same resources to be able to even like to know even of the existence of the thing that I want and could set myself the goal of acquiring. So I've been in my mind a lot about all of that stuff. Thank you for asking. I'm okay. I'm okay for the most part. I just want to solve problems. I want to solve problems. And at the same time, I want to be okay with how things are right now, right? It's like this duality of man of on the one side, there are all of these problems I want to solve as the cycles continue. And on the other side, there is this patience, right? This patience that exists in my system to be okay with taking it easy, to take things slow. The older I guess, the less I can tolerate heat. At least with cold, you can get warm, but heat is oppressive. I used those exact words today, Joy, like in the previous stream, where I used like the exact words of oppressive. It's like literally having the sun's thumb, like the heat's thumb is on you. It's oppressive and it just sucks everything out of your body. It has to work harder. That's why it's so tiring. Yeah. Now let us check out. Maketh sense. Justifications. How do we justify things? What can we justify for ourselves? I think these are one of those things that comes in cycles as well, right? Where as soon as it turns back to being winter, then suddenly the cycle of wanting to acquire air conditioning will end, right? And in my mind, that's almost like what I'm parsing. It's where it's like, at what cycle do I want to do this? Because if I wait another cycle, I might luck out and be able to acquire the new generation of this device, right? And on the other side, I also will get to save longer, and then it won't be as consequential. Is that the word? Yeah. No. Batteries are still a little bit expensive, prohibitively so. Right, I'm thinking about the whole air conditioning fractals. Like it is an energy intensive thing to do, cooling down the air. Literally, takes a lot of energy doing that. I think I can wait another cycle. Maybe I can wait another cycle. Maybe just one. Like my year 27 cycle is the one that I no longer wait. Right, or I get it in my year 27 cycle before I turn 28. Maybe that could be the justification. There's a guinea fowl in the garden right now. See if I can show you. No. Oh man, that's super bad. There we go. It's behind that tree right now. There it comes. There it goes. Look at that guinea fowl. Like basically a wild chicken. Hey Google, show me a guinea fowl.
Here's a guinea fowl.
Sorry about that. Yeah, one of those dudes. What are you doing? Why do you want cookies? Or leave me alone, please. I just want the image. Yeah, one of those. Just casually eating some grass seed or something. Yeah, you're making sense there, Joy. Is it because I'm becoming slowly but surely an older person that I don't feel like I can tolerate the heat as much anymore? Or is this still like the earth is getting hotter kind of situation? You got guinea fowl. We got wild turkeys that roam in packs. Those usually do roam in packs as well. That one just maybe is like brave or something. That's why it's so. That reminded me of when I turned off some guy's Xbox while playing online with a mic by just saying Xbox turn off. Oh, that is kind of hilarious. Use the smart home against them. That is funny. Thinking about a world where all of us have solved most of our problems. We have housing, we have our resource needs met, food, water. We have medical care if we need it, and then we just start like messing with each other, turning each other's computers off remotely, hacking into each other's networks. That could be funny. My instinct says an apple juice brine and a nice long nap in the smoker. For the guinea fowl. They're not that nice, unfortunately. Actually, they're still chicken, but they're a little bit of a darker meat and very stringy. Unfortunately, are they related to turkeys? Do you hunt and eat them? They are hunted and eaten, definitely. But if you have gotten used to eating chicken, for example, and you like chicken, and then you think I'm gonna start eating guinea fowl and it's gonna be the same, it's not. Not gonna be as enjoyable. Something something 20% neurons travel from brain to body, 80% travel from body to brain. Our environment has a huge impact on our mindset. I never press send from earlier. True. It's true. Maybe that's also like one of the things that the heat is like inputting in my system. It's like a lot of information of like, bro, I'm not having a good time. And my body keeps telling me that. And I'm like, Yossi, I'm not feeling great. I'm not having a good time. I feel bad. Right. And I'm like, I have nothing to feel bad about. There's there's nothing to feel bad about. Why are you feeling bad? The 80/20 thing. So does that mean Ymir was in control and decided through Aaron to begin the rumbling? That's so Ymir of her. So chicken stew meat melt. That sounds nice. Yeah, pretty much. You would have to boil that stuff for a while. Whisper, whisper that hilarious. Your friends. Hmm. I feel bad that I can see your knee. I don't. too much. Too much. That's extra. A part of me wants to go get myself a piece of honeycomb, actually. But do I need to? I don't need to do anything. I just think we're still in a power outage. Yeah. We haven't had electricity for now 2 hours. It's been 2 hours of not having electricity. Let's see what the batteries percentage is like. And then on our way there, we'll go and get our honeycomb. How does that sound? Sound good? Yeah. Yeah. You see, this is the kitchen light. This one goes on when there's no power. Lets us know. Honey, it's good for allergies. I should eat more honey. I should eat local honeys. That's the thing. Here's the battery. Making sure we have Wi-Fi. 54% left. Nice. Nice. That's good. We should have Wi-Fi for a solid 2 more hours at least. If the power still stays off for 2 more hours, at least we'll have Wi-Fi. And then we'll reveal this. Look, tomatoes. These are grown in our garden. Some of them are a little bit on the green side, true. And then a lot of onions, like literal buckets of the stuff. More onions. Onions in abundance. And then here's computer room. Take a piece of honeycomb. Use this piece of nug. And then we go again. Look at all the daggers. Look at them. Oh, look at her. Oh, look at her, Eva. Oh, look. Oh, the Evas. Oh, the Evie. And a pepper. Huh? What do you matters? Hey, relax here. Relaxeer for yourself. Just like that, we have now acquired the information that we'll still have hours more of Wi-Fi left. I'm so jealous of those homegrown tomatoes. It's no longer tomato season, and the store-bought ones are terrible. Tomatoes are so nice when they're nice as well. So I do feel your suffering. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, dear friend. Your tomatoes suck right now. That's one good thing about your old spot was that there's no load shedding. This is true. I don't know that this is load shedding, unfortunately, Joy. This is probably just like heavy weather affected stuff. But that is true. That old spot didn't have load shedding. I don't know if most of the country has load shedding right now, but apparently it will return at some point. We're hoping that batteries will continue to drop in price and solar alongside it, so that when the cycle needs to come to an end, we can install solar potentially. At least I think my dad has been considering that. I have been considering that as well, just for myself, to like get myself literal just batteries that will stack on the ground and running solar into them through the windows. I've been considering that. But then after you like actually think about buying all of that stuff, it costs around the same amount you would buy a car for, like a beater secondhand car for, right? Something that I could also use right now. And it's like a matter of what's going to be more valuable to me. On a day-to-day level, batteries. On a convenience level, car, right? So it is one of those things. But it will happen. At least these things exist right now. So again, it's a matter of at least we can even think about changing our situation. I wrote in my journal about the peacocks, yeah, in their Afrikaans accent yesterday. Jovan, like since you've been here with me in South Africa, that has become almost like my way of enthusiastically saying y'all to something. All right. Like I make like a peacock and say y'all because of those experiences. So hey there, Whisper. Oh, I think Whisper is still Guyana, but my mind was like confused about why people are talking about Whisper. I was like, who's this Whisper you're talking about? But that's Guyana. Guyana. But I guess Whisper is the new pseudonym. I'm trying to get some of this, but I'm also not trying to overdo it. I think I might have still overdone it. Smells like lemon meringue. If you wanna know, it has a little Ouroboros, mm, snake eating itself. Mm-mm-mm. I'm jealous of those bliss again. Peacocks. To be screaming though. This is true. It's kind of funny. It's funny if you're in that state of mind, right? If you're not irritated, it's just funny and endearing. If you're irritated, people hate it. People lose their minds. My mom is people. Teddy and I are talking about growing tomatoes in our new home. He's also talking about growing other things, though. Dude, my dad is actually the one who planted all of those vegetables, so it's been pretty rewarding for him. I'm sure it will be rewarding for Teddy too. We have rolling blackouts when it's too hot, and the utility companies turn off the power to reduce the load on the grid. Our infrastructure in the US is aging and failing. Yeah, that's one of the biggest limitations right now is our actual grids. Same here in South Africa as well, actually, Joy. Sam gonna have a victory garden. That's awesome, right? You could be living in Texas, Joy. At least in CA, there's a marginal chance of your infrastructure being improved. Um, like I don't want to fact check you, Sam, but Texas is literally leading on infrastructure, especially electricity infrastructure improvements, and it's because of what happened last year, right? So I know that's the metric we're measuring against of like, oh yeah, people died because they froze to death because it's Texas and they didn't anticipate getting that cold, yada yada yada. So as a result, they are literally the leading in battery and solar deployment right now in the entire country for you friends. They're in America. So they did kind of burn their fingers and they are correcting, right? They are at least changing things, improving the infrastructure, as you say. People call me Whisper here because I don't talk much. And when I do, I talk real low. It's okay, Whisper. We'll call you Whisper if that's what you want to be called, dear friend. Kimberly Ann. Spire Energy keeps upping the price of gas to make up for the deficiencies in the Texas power grid, while the Republicans down there aggressively throw out legislation aiming at improving it. But they didn't fix it. They upped everyone's bill and they ran away with the money, all those people to freeze to death. I mean, we can at least find stuff out like this. Let's do a new one. Let's do one that talks to the internet. Me and my friends are having a conversation about Texas's infrastructure, especially as it relates to electricity. And I am arguing that Texas is actually leading in America for new solar and battery deployments. Is this true? Yes, your argument holds true. Texas is leading the United States in the development of new solar energy installations and is a significant player in the battery storage capacity. Top ranking in utility scale solar. Utility scale utility scale solar. As of the second quarter of 2024, Texas surpassed California to become the state with the most utility scale solar capacity. The state added 1,656 megawatts in that quarter alone, bringing its total to 21,932 megawatts, which accounts for 20% of the overall US solar fleet. 20%. Texas alone has 20% of the overall United States solar fleet. And to give you an idea as well, the entire South Africa's grid is a 2,500 megawatt system. So, like, Texas almost uses the same amount of electricity that South Africa uses. And now a big chunk of that is solar, at least. And rapid growth. In the first half of 2024, Texas installed 5,500 megawatts of new solar capacity, nearly double that of Florida, the next highest ranking state during that period. Significant installations. Texas also is making substantial strides in battery energy storage. For instance, the Revolution battery energy storage system, 150 megawatt slash 300 megawatt hour facility. That's insane. My mind can't even wrap its head around what that number means. Began operating in West Texas in early 2024. So this is like new info. It's like it's just happening, this stuff, but it is happening, Sam. Like the proof is in the pudding. The project is among the largest of its kind in the entire United States. The national standing. By the end of 2023, Texas ranked the second in the nation for battery storage capacity, reflecting its commitment to enhancing grid reliability and integrating renewable energy sources. So, things are changing. They're just changing slower than they're supposed to, technically. And at least, it's profitable now as well for these things to change, which does help a lot. Culture, the mound method. My tomatoes grew like crazy that way. I have had a yummy seasoning out of the dehydrated tomatoes. I actually had some of that seasoning even. It was very hella yummies. Na, 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 na. This is America. Anything you heard about shit being improved at the cost of the shareholders' dividends is a fucking lie. Like, again, Sam, like, if you wanted to, you can go and drive out to the places that 5,500 megawatts of solar has been installed. Like, you'll see it. It's there, right? Like, it's there. It's not a matter of like lying. You cannot lie about massive swaths of land being dedicated to energy production. It's very clear. And again, it's a shareholders thing, right? They cannot lie about that because the shareholders wouldn't like it. Plant garlic and onions around your crop to keep the deer away from them, apparently. Kale is low maintenance AF. Mine is actually still growing despite the cold. Grow kale. That is good advice. I think we might have some kale in our garden as well now, Joe. Be right back. Bless you, Kimberly. I'm not arguing about batteries. I'm arguing that the power grid in Texas is so ancient that it cannot handle the power during the winter, and that they're not incentivized to change that. Yeah, I don't know about that, and I'll acknowledge that much. My ignorance definitely does extend into that realm. What's the history of saying the proof is in the pudding? Bread has to be proofed right. It pudding? Hmm? Let's find out. Actually, it's a good question. Thank you. In this whole conversation, I said to my friends that the proof is in the pudding, kind of gesturing broadly to all of the solar deployment and battery installation. And then a friend asked, like, why do we say that? What's the history about saying the proof is in the pudding? Instantly, it makes sense. It got shortened. The proof is in the pudding phrase is a shortened form of the old proverb, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. This expression means that the true value or quality of something can only be judged when it is put to its intended use or tested directly. In other words, outcome outcomes are the best indicator of something's effectiveness or growth. Yes, yes, that is what I was saying as well. Like the outcome, right? Like the outcome is like there was a catastrophe. There was not being able to provide people the energy that they needed, and people died because of that. And now the outcome has been that in just 1 year, Texas installed basically, trying to do the math correctly, 25% of our entire country's electricity grid in solar. In 1 year, they did that. Right. And that's pretty fantastical. And then it continues by saying, the origins is in historical context, is the full proverb, the proof is in the pudding, is in the eating, dates back to at least the 14th century. In this context, proof refers to the act of testing. Therefore, the saying implies that the quality of the pudding, which in medieval time was a sausage-like dish, could only be determined by tasting it. And the evolution of the phrase. Over time, the phrase was shortened, the proof is in the pudding, which is more commonly used today. However, this abbreviated version can be misleading, as it omits the original emphasis on eating as the test of quality. Yeah, using your own senses, complex as they are, to sample reality and ensure whether or not it is good. This is interesting. Mm, okay. Joe, that's a nice idea. My dad's suggestion was a Red Ryder BB gun. I prefer paintball guns, but they come back. I'm not sure anything keeps them out. But my marigolds sure are pretty. Yeah, it's a resources thing, right? Like if you know for a fact that there's some yummy yummies growing there, you're gonna go there and have some yummy yummies, right? Oh, sometimes angry monkey come out and then launch a small projectile at me that causes me mild discomfort. All right, like that's gonna override every time when I think about yummy yummies and where they are. Just like putting myself in deer brain. That's like the extent of verbalization that I think happens. Yum yum. There must go. Find self there again. I Google joy and it's gross. It's not that gross. It's not that gross. It makes perfect sense. Proof is in the pudding, right? And sampling. I think it might be gross that it was a sausage-like thing. Maybe that's the gross part you were mentioning. Oh no, Sam. We've been using the version of that saying since the 14th century. That's so wild. That is pretty wild. You're right, Joy. The 14th century. Like if they had to eat the pudding that we consider pudding right now, they would be like, this is proof. This right here, this is proof, bro. We figured it out. This is it. This right here is pudding. Oh, imagine giving someone in the 14th century literally any modern pudding. Anything that we as a modern human being in the year 2024 would consider pudding, they would lose their minds. They would like legit actually lose their minds. I should I should do that. I'm gonna say, let's role play a little bit and pretend that you are a person in the 14th century being given what we people in the year 2024 considered a modern pudding, how do you think you would react? I turned off my internet access. Oh, greetings, stranger of a strange dress and manner. You had me. You had. I need to balance myself. Okay. Ah, greetings, stranger of strange dress and manner. You had me curious. You hand me a curious dish, smooth, pale, and wobbling, like a bowl of custard bewitched. By St. George's word, what manner of alchemy is this? You call it pudding? But what is the meat? But where is the meat? The soot, the spice that warms the belly. Tentatively scoops a spoonful and tastes it. By the blessed Virgin! What a marvel! It is sweet as fair maiden's kiss and smooth as the finest cream. Is it made from milk? Eggs? Surely some noble beast's toil lies behind this delight, or for no common pantry could birth such delicacy. Pray, stranger, what manner of sorcery brings forth this texture? You say it is made from, what is the word, vanilla? Such a flavor is unknown to my village. And sugar, you say, is such abundance? Only the wealthiest lords could afford a mere pinch of such treasure in my time. Yet here you stand, offering it freely, as though it were the bread or ale. Do you mean to tell me in your year, this 2024, such luxuries are common? Verily, I am overcome. I must tell the baker and the miller of this wondrous treat, though I fear they shall think me mad. But tell me, good stranger, is it not perilous to eat such things with no salt or spice to ward off ill humors? In my time, pudding must be boiled or stuffed. It is hard tested by the blade, lest it carry foulness. Yet I find myself casting such worries aside for this. This is food fit for angels. Might I keep some for the feast? Or perhaps a recipe for our cook? Surely, if such knowledge were brought to my time, it could change the very course of history. Oh, that was great. Thank you. Thank you, ChatGPT. It's quite ridiculous. But yes, exactly like that. Exactly. This reading is hilarious. Thank you. Thank you, Joy. I appreciate it as well. You know, there was definitely something there. Oh man, perspective. Mhm. In the Middle Ages, puddings were often made from a mixture of minced meat, cereals, spices, and sometimes blood, stuffed in a stomach or intestine, and boiled or steamed. Mm. Yes, the proof is in the pudding. Yes, this is particularly not bad. Like all of the other ones I've had, this one has like a clear distinctness of like not being absolutely horrendous and unpalatable. You know, I can like forget about eating it. You know, when I put it when I put it in between a piece of bread. Oh goodness. Oh man, that's rough. I know we're not supposed to talk about food, but what if we do it in a way that makes you the opposite of hungry? Yeah, it could be one way. But I don't want to disgust you friends either, so that's not all that different from blood sausage. I think Sam pretty much on point. This reading is hilarious. I think sugar may have changed the course of history. Yeah. I think sugar was in part the reason for slavery a lot as well, right? Do you want to go down that rabbit hole? I'm curious. Let's ask this very directly. What role did sugar actually play in slavery? Like let's do percentages. What percentage of people enslaved were specifically enslaved for the production of sugar? Vet du noen som kommer krakafes now? No sé, Sugar production played a pivotal role in the transatlantic slave trade, with a substantial portion of enslaved Africans being forced to work on sugar plantations, especially. Estimates indicate that approximately 70% 70% of enslaved Africans in the Americas labored on plantations cultivating sugarcane and producing related commodities such as sugar, rum, and molasses. 70%. Yeah. And it happened in Brazil and Caribbean as well, where 40% of their slaves, and they didn't give a percentage for Brazil. That's bonkers. Uh, do we have numbers? Do we have guesstimated numbers on the exact amount of people enslaved? 70% of how many? Yes. An estimated 12.5 million Africans to the Americas between the 16th and 19th centuries. So this is literally 14th century. 2 centuries later, sugar changed history. Oh my goodness. That's bonkers. And again, maybe at this point sugar became like, let's ask, who were the primary consumers of all of this sugar? It feels like a loaded question. Holy goodness. During the 18th century, sugar consumption in Europe, particularly in Great Britain, increased significantly, transforming it from a luxury item to a common commodity across all social classes. The main consumers was Great Britain, France, the European nations, and North America. Per capita consumption in the 1700s in Great Britain for the average sugar consumption in England was about 4 pounds per person annually. 2 kilograms of sugar per person a year. Let's ask. What is the annual consumption of sugar per person per year on the planet right now? And then is there more interesting information here? Yeah, I mean, those are the numbers, right? Like people wanted to have sugar. Great Britain was like, it tastes good. Slavery? Nice taste. What the fuck? Oh my goodness. And it's technically happening again, right? In some ways, in many ways, the distribution. Holy shit. The average consumption is now 22 kilograms, so 44 pounds more, probably more because the pounds is different, right? So back in the day, when most of sugar was produced by slavery, people were consuming 4 pounds per person annually. And we're consuming now average 40 pounds per person. And that's global. Guatemala had like 52 kilograms. That's like 100 pounds. India, bruh, not giving me good numbers. They just told me that India was the largest overall consumer of sugar, with 30 million metric tons. Luxembourg, which is the highest sugar consuming capita, is consuming 165 kilograms per person annually. That's like 350 pounds of sugar per person per year. Pretty bonkers bonanners. Why are people in Luxembourg? Why are people in Luxembourg eating so much sugar? Why are people in Luxembourg, bro? Why are people in Luxembourg eating so much sugar? Papa, heb je het gehoord? Mense in Luxemburg eet average 165 kilogram suiker per persoon per jaar. Dis 2 van my liggaamsgewigte net in suiker. 165 kilogram. Ja, dis insane. Soos ek verstaan nie. This reported figure of 165 kilograms per person for sugar consumption appears to be an anomaly and may not accurately reflect actual consumption patterns. According to the data of the Food and Agricultural Organization, Luxembourg per capita sugar consumption was 11 kilograms and 16 kilograms in 2013. This discrepancy suggests that the higher figures might result from statistical anomalies, such as data misreported. Okay. Yeah, suddenly my mind was like, there's something wrong in Luxembourg. Like, they need to send help. Like, those, literally, yeah, it's like drinking like 8 liters of Coke a day or something like that, probably. You know, like, that's the only way you do that to yourself. Like, probably more like, hey, Google, let's not, hey, Google this thing. How much grams in sugar is in 2 liters of Coca-Cola? 165 grams. Yeah, so it's like 6 liters, 6 liters of 6 liters of Coke a day, every day, to reach that kind of numbers. Yeah, we were talking about the fact that 70% of people enslaved, Africans enslaved, were enslaved to grow sugar. And during that time, the major consumers of sugar was Great Britain and France and the Americas and the other European countries, you know. So they were like, and like we were talking about before that, the word or the saying, the proof is in the pudding. And what does that mean? Where did that come from? And it comes from the 14th century, when pudding was meat and cereals and blood that they put in stomachs or like intestinal linings. Like, that was what they were considered pudding. And then we asked ChatGPT to pretend it's a person from the 1400, you know, like eating what we would consider modern pudding, you know, today. And one of the things that he talked about is how, you know, this sugar will change history. And then we got into this whole topic.
Slavery was bad. It was from the devil. There is some solace in the whole thing for any slave. I mean, people that feel all that sugar that they eat.
Goodness. Yeah, that's true as well. Like, and now, I mean, like during those days, during the slavery days, the average sugar consumption for these people were like 4 pounds per year. Now it's average 44 pounds per year. So 20 kilogram per persoon per jaar. En dit kan jy maar amper dink. Dit maak baie maklik sin. Yeah. All right. Are we done diving down these statistical interests? Kind of like a rabbit hole into what my mind works like. Yes, I'm gonna ask question. Eventually, I'll be able to ask these questions faster than my mouth can. Maybe I'll hold this information in a different way. Sugar is still a controversial industry. Slavery with extra steps. Yeah, 70%. Damn. They'll be talking about blood diamonds, need to be talking about blood sugar, literally. Right? And if you think about it like really deeply, the same companies that are like the major players in the sugar industry did have their seeds still from that world, right? Like all of those assets, all of those pieces of equipment, all of those lands, all of those know-hows, all of those biological material of the actual sugar cane to be able to reproduce this stuff. All of that stuff is still very much, you know, hold handings, very much integrated. Britain outlawed slavery long before the rest of the world, old and certainly before the colonies. True. I think maybe it didn't sit well with the people because they were like giving themselves all of that sugar. And I think there's like a whole, like their teeth was like rotting for it as well or something like that. You know, because they didn't have the proper education about how they're supposed to use it. Maybe there was like a whole psychological thing where they had to come to the conclusion sugar ain't in the food pyramid. Rightly so. It shouldn't be. So mom came by. The dynamics have shifted. It's a new day, friends. Bless. Malau. I'm happy to hear that, friend. Bless you. It is good to have new days like that. To feel new cycles coming on. The reason we didn't outlaw it when Britain did is because our economy is directly dependent upon slave labor. Yeah. Just look at the former plantations that have become prisons utilizing inmate labor. It's just like slavery of extra steps, ruin people's lives, give them absolutely no recourse to change things for themselves, have them inevitably resort to violence or crime, and then lock them up and then use them as slave labor so they can afford cigarettes. Genius move. Congratulations, America. We get paid pennies a day to perform the same task others make a living doing. Yeah. Then there's the fact that law allows disabled people to be paid at a lower rate than their able bodied colleagues. We dehumanize people today for the purpose of making money. Yeah. We had a whole conversation about that, I think, yesterday or day before yesterday about the value they assign to the individual human being and how there's like it's a dollar number, metaphorically speaking, next to your name in the system. And if it's gonna cost more to save your life than that dollar number next to your name is, then they don't. And that's pretty fucked, to say it in the most polite terms. Oh, Sam, my sister had a plantation wedding. Oak Alley. It's pretty, but indeed have a disgusting history. Wow. We all carry pieces of the puzzle. I'm pro restoration. This is true. This conversation has been so interesting. I love it. Thank you, Joy. It has been fun, right? It has been fun. I feel like I definitely do want to do more of this, of using language models to accentuate the depth that we can reach in our conscious evolution. Because I feel like it is important. It's important for us to teach ourselves how to use these new tools in our lives in a way that we can use them constructively. We can understand things about our history. Yeah, that's how it works. It ain't a prison. It's been gentrified and whitewashed to accommodate weddings and events. Pro Southern Restoration, Maulao. We could have a whole conversation about that. I value your viewpoint, Sam. Oh, I bet not. uh, love is true either way, and I know I love you. I know that I actually showed up longer for this stream than I intended to because this conversation was so much fun. So I'm gonna say goodbye for now, with the hope of doing this again tomorrow, having conversations with you, friend, consciously evolving, expanding our minds and what we think about. I feel lighter. I love you. I love you so much, all of you. Thank you, Joe, for sending your love to us too. I don't have to agree with you to value your input. Yeah, true. I don't have to change my entire life. I don't have to never eat sugar again because I understand that it has its ties in slavery ultimately, right? I could think about that stuff and I could change my behaviors a little bit with that in mind. But, input is something that's very interesting, right? You can receive input in reverse as well. Someone might say something that you so viscerally agree with that it makes you even more willing or able to live into the version of yourself you believe you're supposed to be, right? Like it strengthens that version of yourself. So I thank you, friends, for strengthening all of us with your inputs. Damn, I typed up a whole thing and YouTube yeeted all of it. Uh, wasn't me. I'm guessing that there might have been something interesting in that message. Let's say my battery on here is on 34%. On here, I'm on 47%. It is 18:08. I appreciate you friends for joining me, for giving me your inputs. Apparently, General Sherman is a controversial topic. Apparently, I don't even know who General Sherman is. So maybe that's a part of the reason. I know part of the reason that I showed up here today is because I love you, and I trust that a part of the reason you've shown up here is because you love me and the friends that have found themselves in this space with us. Thank you, friends, for being here with us. See you again soon. Do it again tomorrow. Love you, friends.